Hello folks, John Kitts here playing Worm. And if you saw the last video, you saw me get into this game and the settings that I made to get here. And you saw that we flattened this little area out here. And my long-term goal was to reach bedrock. And that was going to be our next step forward. So I had to do a whole lot of digging and leveling up other areas. And finally got here. Worked all through the night. You see the sun is just coming up over there. Now, before we proceed a little further, you can see down here the water, my thirst level or water level, and my food level. And you can see on food, it's not quite as simple as just plain food. I see my water level's at 78%, food generally is at 67%, and my nutrition value, that's the interesting part, is at 43. Now nutrition means you eat the various kinds of things available, such as meat, fish, vegetables, fruits, etc. So that's why underneath there you see, there's character names and stamina, health, and water, food, nutrition, and then underneath you see calories, carbs, fats, and proteins. And if you pretty much cover all of those, you are going to level up in nutrition. So for me, from where I was before, I had a campfire set up, and I've actually had a forge set up, so I cooked a bunch of stuff, and you have recipes. You can combine various kinds of vegetables with spices, and in this case I did some fishing because I have a fishing rod right there. Follow my cursor all the way over to the lower left, and I had caught some fish. So I had, what you do when you catch a fish, you wrap the fish, you right click, and it gives you the option to wrap, and then you wrap the fish, put it in a fire, and it comes out as a steamed, whatever kind of fish it is, in this case brook trout. So now if I right click again and I give the options here, I can eat. So you come back over here, you see I'm going through the fish, and I might actually run out of fish here pretty quickly. Okay, that was one. Now it's working on the second one. And my food is coming up to 78. And that's as far as we have. So I'm going to be getting a little bit short on food, but we'll deal with that in a minute. So we click here on the water, you see the option comes up to have a drink. So now I'm filled with water. Now, so that's that. I just want to take care of that while it was there. We have unicorns in the game, by the way, right there. Now, that's the roaming dog, yes. There was a dog kind of stuck over there a little while ago, but seems like it got free. So what we're going to do here, and this might not work as well as I hoped, because it's not high enough. So I dig down, I might just end up in water too deep to continue, in which case I'll have to keep digging up that way. So what I would have to do, these are obviously would be connected to this corner here. So this corner and that corner is essentially the same. So that would be bedrock there, and that corner is the same. So that'd be bedrock there. So I'd have to go up and dig that down and that down until I reached bedrock there, so then I'll be able to dig into there. But for now, let's just see what we can accomplish here. So I would have to use my pick. Oh, by the way, my shovel, we see, is damaged up to 5.57. I think if I got to 9.45, that's when I would be destroyed. So I'm going to right click here and click on repair, and you'll see it's repairing, but it's also lowering the quality. So that's one of the dynamics you have to deal with. So now let's come back into the pick here. So I click on here, this square with the pick, and you see I have, sorry, excuse me while I clear my throat a bit. And so I have this option to, well, that was a big difference. You have the option to tunnel, or I could prospect here, which would tell me if there's something close by, or I could start mining. That's what I'm thinking, which for me takes a long, slow process. Usually when you mine, like when you're in a tunnel and you mine, it will dig for, because my settings are low, it would dig for between 5 and 9 strikes before it would move forward, but that's if you were in a tunnel. But my worries is if I create a tunnel right now, it'll tunnel down because of the angle of this right there, and we'll end up partially submerged. But I didn't know can I do that? No, I can't do that anyway. Well, there you go. I don't even know why that option was there. Why I haven't thought about it. So now I'm going to tunnel. Okay, so that's, this will probably take 5 or 6 shots as it is. So I'm going to click 3 in a row, because that's all you can do at one time. And it says, if you look over here, you start to tunnel, you chip away at the rock. By the way, I just want to point this out. Over here we have, well, we normally, if there was multiplayer, you would, do your chat, etc. here. But since it's not multiplayer, I just closed this down as small as I could get it. Similarly, over here, if I had friends online here, I would probably see them there. And these are my skills as I progress. For example, I just increased 21 with using a pickaxe. And somewhere back up there I got stronger because now I can carry 6 loads of dirt rather than before it was only 5. Anyway, let us proceed more. See where this takes us. You can see as my stamina goes down, oh, there we go. As my stamina goes down, I do things more slowly. But, okay, this gave us water. Here we go. I don't think we're going to work here. Yeah. Too far away from the mine. Now, if I get closer here, it still says too far away. But it really means that I'm in water here. So what's happened, ladies and gentlemen, is we've made a big scar that we can't fix. Like even if I loaded up this dirt, let's just take some of it just for the heck of it, and try to, yeah, it's going to take me a while to get there because I'm carrying 6 thingies of dirt. So what I'll try to do is get down in there and drop this dirt, and I think it'll probably say I can't drop it or it just disappears. One or the two. Alright, let's still says 20 slope down. Now it says 20 slope up. Let's drop it on the ground. I dropped it, but it still says 20 slopes up. So all it did was drop it right there as a pile. So let's take that again, see if I can actually drop it on the ground. Dirt, drop on ground. No, it just makes a pile. So there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, well, this brings us to, I don't know even if I can. What I'm thinking is, okay, even if I dig those out and make a rock face, it'll probably tell me I'm too close to another tunnel to be able to make a mine. Alright then, we have to deal. Alright, tell you what, I'll show you some other stuff instead, and then I'll work on that. But now you get the sense of what I'm trying to do here. Trying to make a tunnel that we can get into and mine for resources. Like that's their big rock face over there. And the last time I was in this area, which is a couple of years back, I actually built a roadway all the way over to there till I got to there, and then I just dug straight in which case it worked fine. But it's not going, because of the angle here, you can see it's almost flat. So it didn't work. Anyway, let us come over to a flat area here. This is pretty much central because I'm going to dig more that way in order to make some fields to plant. I can plant just about anything: corn, rye, pumpkins, you name it. I can even plant rice by putting bedrock next to the water, or not bedrock, sorry, gravel next to the water, and then plant rice there. So, but since this is a central area, what we're going to do is place our tent. That's, okay, a couple things. See this cotton here? If I was hurt, and even though there are no, or very few dangerous animals about, I could run into one eventually, or I could fall down here, for example, and get hurt, in which case I press the C button. That's on a keyboard. This gives us our skeleton, and if I was hurt in one part of the skeleton or another, I would it would show red, and then I would double click on the cotton in order to highlight it. It should be in green, but it's not. Oh, it's because I'm in there. There we go. There was two of them. So, yeah, there I have cotton highlighted in green, and then I would right click on the part that was damaged, and it would show the option to do first aid. And what that does is it wraps it, like if it was bleeding, or even if it was just bruised, it would wrap it in a bandage, but it would still take a little while to end up curing you. And it would show over here, it would be red on this end and green like it is now. So your stamina would be reduced by the amount it's red. So stamina would start, say, partly down here, or if you were really badly hurt, all the way down here. So that means your stamina very limited. So a lot of things to consider from there. Okay, so that's my deal with that. And what I was going to say was, if you were really badly hurt and you had your tent, you could actually cure yourself by using the cotton tent. Unfortunately, that would mean you would no longer have a tent, and you'd have to make one again some later on in the game, whenever whenever you had the skill level. So all I'm saying is, if you have a tent and you are damaged, make sure you don't accidentally highlight the tent and then create bandages with it, because you don't want to lose your tent. Alright, so back to placing the tent. I right click, comes the drop, and I can place it on the ground. And it says I'm not allowed to put a tent here. Well, thank you very much for that. I know I had a tent here before. Let's come back this way a little ways. Same thing. Why am I not allowed to put a tent here? You guys are not fun at all. I'm close to that. That is a stone of soulfall, which is one of the places if you died, you would respawn at one of, I think it's 4 or 5 other stones like this. And I think it's random. I'm not sure if you can set a setting so that it always spawns at one particular one, but this one's called the Meadow. This one called, okay, let's look at the map. There's where I was before. Here's where we are now. So before, that's where I built a camp, and that was next to Central Lakes, which was there, and there's another one called West Lake here, and Soulfall East Beach. I thought there was another one, but I don't see it right away. Up here is Northern Shores. Those are all Soul Falls. So you might find yourself popping into one of those places when you die. So what I did was I built my little camp there, and there's still stuff there, but it takes about a half an hour to move from there to here. So I had to come down here and swim across there and come circle around there. Here's where I ended up. So, okay, let's, might have something to do with that, although I'm supposed to be outside. So let's get a little closer here and see if I can put the tent down here. Ah, see? Okay, I can do that. Now let's back up. And it says I can't do it there. So something about what's there in the corner. Okay, so I have my tent. I can rotate it. So let's kind of just put it right there. And there it is. I now have a tent. Didn't have to be on a level spot at all. So I don't know why I couldn't put it down there. But anyway, because I did have it set up at the other camp. Alright, so here's our tent, and I can right click that and click open empty inventory. So if I wanted to store stuff in there, I could. Like I found these 2 glowing jars when I was digging. You don't actually see them, although if I take a look at them, hold on a second. Drop place. Doesn't look like a jar to me, but okay, let's click that one there. Click that one there. Huh. It says a jar. If it's a jar, can you put stuff in it? Okay, let's take that one again, and let's double click it to highlight it. And let's close the tent thing there. Well, it closed by itself because I moved away. So now I can just drink. Normally if I had another kind of jar, it would give me the option to fill. But that's not one of the other games. By the way, this game has an online version, which has been around for a long time. It was here before this game was actually made. This one's called, what's it called? Wurm Unlimited, I think, yeah. So anyway, that's not going to work. Anyway, I was just curious. So where'd my tent go? Ah, there it is. So I have these things in the adventure version of this game, and in the online version there are merchants who buy this sort of thing. Okay, so again, open the tent. I could pick it up again if I wanted to. I could move it. When you move it, you just kind of push it a little bit. This seems how this is, and the amount that it moves is, you can just barely see it, so you have to push and pull over and over again to move it to another area. And I think it would have to, especially in the case of this tent, it would have to stay within the square, otherwise it would have to jump from one border line to the next. So anyway, we are opening that again, and let's just for now move the iron in there that I made before. I have a chisel. I keep the cotton on me just in case I need bandages. The rope I'm not going to need in a hurry, and the rest of the stuff I left back at the other camp. So let's close that and move along. So that plants that. There's tons of stuff to show you, but there's just so much to show. Alright, how the fishing works. We will come over here to this fairly deep spot, and there's double click on that, okay, make it green again. And now if I just click on that area, you see I have the option to fish. So I just click on that, and that puts the bar out there. So it runs for 3 minutes like that. And usually what I do while I'm fishing, I don't have to respond to anything that happens here. And eventually you'll see something like you got a bite or something like that, and then you caught, I don't know, a trout or something. So what I do is, if you click on the crafting, you bring up the crafting menu, which I always put over here, and down in the corner here of the crafting, it's not a menu exactly, a crafting window, you click on here, and that brings up all the recipes that are in the game. So for some reason there's a huge amount of bridge menus. I never could figure out why. But you see the materials that are in the game just by the materials of the different kinds of bridge. So for example, marble, make it out of pottery bricks, rendered bricks, rope, rounded stone, slate, wood, whatever. So then you can make carts. There's a cart that you can, it's just a one-axle cart that you can use yourself. You pick it up and you drag it from one area to another. Oh, I almost caught something, but it escaped. Okay, and yeah, the cart helps you move stuff around fairly quickly. There's a training dummy, which comes in handy if you have your map set up to have a lot of aggressive animals, lots of construction materials. You can make containers, cooking utensils, decorations, dyes, flags, floors, food. So these are really food recipes. You have to have a baking skill. I'm not sure how to get that, to make the sandwiches. And those are all the different kinds of sandwiches. For example, goat cheese sandwich. Sounds pleasant. And you make your furnaces. That's the forge and ovens for cooking. Smelters, campfires, etc., etc. Something bites. So we might be able to catch something here sooner or later. And magic items. A rune of, oh, these are according to you have gods on these, in this game. What are these? Okay, we got a big fish apparently interested in our works. Anyway, make fences. We're going to catch a fish here in a second, and then we'll just move on. All the production stuff, resources, buildings, another fish pulled really hard at the rod. Hopefully, we'll catch it. Fences we can make, sails, you can make a ship. Never did get there. Apparently you can make a ship sail around for a while. You can build houses, and that's really good. I'm hoping we'll stick with this long enough to start building houses in one of these places or another. Gosh, this is going to take the full. It's already 2.5 minutes. Make various tools. For example, carving knives. We already have these, but once we get the iron mined, we'll try. Oh, this is gonna. I know it's going to get away. I'm just looking at it down here. It's too close. 2 seconds, 1 second. Breaks loose, swims away. Well, didn't catch a fish, so the heck with it. But okay, we can close this down because it's easy to open. Same there. Anyway, those are a little quick run through the potential that we are going to deal with eventually. So, what I'm going to do, I've placed my tent. There's those things here. That's a altar to one of the gods. That's what those things are all about. There's another one over there. They're handy for a beacon, keep you lined up with something, because it's very easy to get lost. I get lost all the time in this game. And I don't think there's anything I can cover right now, because I want to build a forge and eventually plant some fields. We can deal with that when we get there. So for now, we'll just leave it there. And if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. And if you want to show your support for the channel, hit the subscribe button. So until next time, please do take care.